Hi, my name is Mary Jennings, and I'm here on behalf of myself and Opala Outreach. Hundreds of cities have already taken steps to stop this product. Do we want visitors to our island to be shocked by our outdated backwards practices? And do we want to give the conception that we are not valuing our beautiful resource that we have here? I would think that we would be a leader in this area, and it seems we should take steps to catch up with where things are going.
Polystyrene foam from coffee cups and other food containers are clogging our landfills and turning up in the ocean where the marine animals and the seabirds are swallowing it. So thank you so much, Ms. O'Hara, for introducing this bill. It's really just a baby step. As you know, over 100 other cities have already done this. I do wish it would go into effect sooner. I wish the fines were higher, and maybe those are some of the amendments that you'll consider making to it.
For the last 11 years, I have seen firsthand the effects of single-use plastics on our coastline and how it affects our native wildlife. Now, eliminating expanded polystyrene is not going to eliminate all of the marine debris that washes up, of course, but it is a really low-hanging fruit for us.
And I don't want to misrepresent the significance of what you're doing. We're not saving the oceans, we're not solving the plastics problems, but you're making an important step forward. I think brave voyagers, as you all are, don't look and are afraid of a destination. They just take one paddle stroke at a time to get there.
We've swam in the oceans and the goopiness that happens from years and years of waste, and we're here to try and stop it, to try to raise awareness, and to be the examples for the rest of the world as we move in this direction.
Styrofoam is really bad because it does never go away. It stays there, it breaks down into this goop that could be consumed by marine animals. And it comes in as a really bad debris for other things like us, because we eat fish that could eat those plastics or those styrofoams. And this bill could stop that. So I feel like we need to start cleaning up the beaches, because that's mostly where it's coming in, because the current brings it in on the beach. And we need to clean up all the styrofoam and all the plastics and all the garbage, so our earth doesn't become a big ball of garbage itself. Thank you.
You're so wonderful. Thank you for your testimony.
My first experience with Styrofoam was, and I don't remember the exact location, but I remember it was a party and I was about 6 or 7 years old, so that would be in the mid-60s at some time. And I got orange Kool-Aid in a cup, in a Styrofoam cup. It was the very first time I got it. And I remember I brought it up to my lips, my mouth, and I could smell it. And I thought, well, that's weird. That's maybe not right. And then I tasted the Kool-Aid, and it tasted a little different, but, you know, I drank the Kool-Aid. I drank the Kool-Aid. I mean, that's a saying, but I drank the Kool-Aid. And then we went through life, right? You know, you go through life and we didn't think about that stuff then. We didn't think about a lot of things, about plastics and what the detriment or where this was going to go at that time. We didn't know. And now we know. So now we have opportunities to change some of the things that we know. So
30 seconds.
Let's put the Kool-Aid in a different cup. Let's drink a different Kool-Aid. Maybe it's a different flavor today.
We have the means to not use foam from a consumer's end, and also from the law perspective as well. And I thank you very much. And thank you for being the positive part of the movement. Aloha.
When looking at the issue of restricting expanded polystyrene in our Hawaiian Islands, I think it's a no-brainer. I do. Our world is suffering on a global scale at the hands of the biggest invasive species that exist, and that's us, humans. We make the most impact on this place. Like, look at the beauty of this world and what we've done in such a short amount of time. I'm getting chicken skins because it's horrible. It really is. What are we leaving for the next generations? You know, it's across the board. There's people who don't think about that.
I was talking recently with my wife about coming to testify again and being like, oh, the county's heard my testimony 4 times. And I can't believe they're going to, you know, I got to take another morning off farming to come and testify again when I think they've heard every angle of this. But I think at the end of the day, I'm here because if people don't show up, then this stuff doesn't happen. Thank you for reintroducing the bill. I think, you know, we have to show our kids that we're doing something. This is easy to do. This is a first step. This isn't going to take care of everything, but it's a first step that we can do. I think globally, if you follow the news and you follow politics, it's really uninspiring. And people have to believe that they can make a difference locally. I think when over and over you see people showing up and overwhelmingly supporting something, that when you then vote against it, it is not inspiring to people, and people will not be involved in local politics unless they feel like their voice is being heard. So I hope you guys pass this today and we can move on. There's so much to take care of in this beautiful place to live, so I hope we can do this. Thanks.
I wanted to mention some new things because I know you guys have heard a lot from me as well. But I did just participate in a beach cleanup on behalf of the Democratic Party. I'm the vice chair for East Hawaii, and we organized a beach cleanup with Hawaii Wildlife Fund at Mokuola, Coconut Island this past weekend. And I have some good news. One thing is there wasn't a lot of big trash, which was really nice. I didn't really know what to expect, and I was kind of thinking we would have more volume. But what we did find was a lot of little tiny trash. And so there's some pictures of us just kind of almost combing through all of these little tiny things that we were finding. And I mean, some of it is the soda pop tops, you know, some of those little tiny things, but a lot of it was straws and forks and all sorts of other pieces of plastic, and lots of tiny little bits of polystyrene. And so I'm here also to tell you that I'm not done, that you haven't seen the last of me, even if we pass this today, which I'm under the impression that we might, and I think it would be wonderful if we were all in support of it. But I'm going to be back here to talk to you guys very soon about all these water bottles that you guys have. If you guys are able to look at your plastic water bottles and upgrade, they have some really nice ones. They have smaller ones, I see. There we go. Thank you. Thank you, Councilwoman. But yeah, it's not convenient to carry around your bamboo.
You have 30 seconds.
Thank you. Reusable to-go-ware. But once you make the switch, it does make a difference. So I want to say that, I really do think that the environment should always matter more than convenience or consumerism.
We've had a zero waste policy for, it's almost 10 years now, right? And why is it that we're just doing this now? I'm frustrated, but I'm happy that we've at least gotten this far, and I want to acknowledge Eileen for, bringing this to the forefront again. And so with that zero waste policy, my experience that I bring to the table is for a long time, I devoted my life to zero waste events. And a lot of you would see me standing at a trash can and saying, this goes here, this goes there. The first thing you do if you want zero waste is you get rid of Styrofoam. Number one, the biggest zero waste event we have on the island is Taste of the Hawaiian Range. There's no Styrofoam, okay? So if we want to be zero waste, that's the first thing. And you're looking at major events like Merry Monarch. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. We're doing the hula. We're having a good time. It's a big, huge trash fest. You cannot imagine how much trash comes off that event. If there was no Styrofoam, it would all be compostable. We can go back to dancing the hula and having a good time because there's no Styrofoam. Okay, that's the kind of future that we're talking about.
Good morning. My name is Rhonda Nichols. I'm a citizen of Hilo. I'm a restaurant owner. I'm a mother. I'm a biologist. I'm a human citizen of the planet Earth. There's not a whole lot I could say in support of this that you haven't already heard. But I would like to, as a restaurant owner, specifically narrow in on some of the arguments against this that I have heard on behalf of my industry. I currently own 3 businesses, 2 of which are restaurants, and have started a number of other restaurants in Hilo over the 12 years that I've been in this industry. It's a choice to use Styrofoam or not choose Styrofoam. People come to my restaurant because I don't use the Styrofoam. But if the argument is that our industry doesn't need another level of regulation, I'd like to discuss some other levels of regulation that we could get rid of that would make my life easier than this one. We're probably, if you do a liquor license in a restaurant, you're one of the most regulated businesses in our community. I answer to every single department that exists, taxes, wastewater, everything. So what I'd like to invite you to do is don't use that industry as an example of why we shouldn't do this. Okay, we have choices that we can make. Styrofoam is not cultural. Okay, if it was, we would see it on the dancers at the Merry Monarch. They're not making skirts out of Styrofoam and saying this is our culture. It's not. So I've heard that argument as well. We have choices. It is affordable to use those alternatives. It's a little bit more expensive, but they've come down in price and the quality is there. So as a member of the restaurant owners industry and as a parent, I encourage you to please not just take this step, but take other steps. The plastic water bottles, you can do that.
My name is Russell Ruderman. I'm testifying in support of Bill 13. As I think you all know, I'm also a state senator, but I'm here mostly in my capacity as a business owner. I believe I'm the person with the most experience on this island in purchasing and using non-polystyrene products for food service. I therefore offer myself as an expert witness. I don't bother you guys with my opinions on most things you consider. I only get involved when I think it's an important, usually environmental issue, or when I'm invited. There is no business requirement for polystyrene, not from a financial, not from a food service, not from any other point of view. I've proved that with more than 19 years of using non-styrene products. I want to briefly, I'll be brief, by the way, because I know you listened to me very patiently last time. Incinerating any kind of plastic results in extremely toxic byproducts that cannot be avoided. You might put them somewhere out of sight, but they're still in our environment. I also was a member of the Solid Waste Advisory Committee, not this last cycle, but 5 years ago, where we came to the unanimous conclusion that no incineration was appropriate for our island. And although another incinerator company has proceeded anyway, that is not public policy and is not in the public interest. So you ought not to make I don't think you have any obligations to accommodate their desire to burn the most toxic possible product. That's it. I repeat, I think no one has purchased or used or had as much experience with the alternatives to these products as I have, and I'm available for questions. Thank you very much.